I love being surrounded by nature, and it's great that we have a couple of plants in the studio. Anyway, today is going to be a very, very special show because we've got some very interesting guests talking to us about how we can help better the environment, how we can help nurture and save Mother Earth from all kinds of calamities. So with that, I'd like to say a very, very good morning to Yasmin Rashid, President of EcoKnights, and Mariam Osman, the Treasurer of EcoKnights. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. How are you feeling this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Fantastic. Green.
Green.
Okay. Before I start asking you about what EcoKnights is all about, how did the both of you, get involved in being so in love with the environment? Yasmin?
I have to admit, I wasn't born green, or I wasn't born with in a family that has already been practicing green. I think it came gradually, and it became more like a acceptable lifestyle option for me and my family. So I think the transition from being not so green to green was very gradual and out of necessity as well.
Right, so it wasn't like a life-changing moment, or it wasn't like a, something that you just decided to just say, okay, today's the day I'm going to go green.
No, it's more about realization and also finding the right information and adapting this information to fit into what you can do in your daily lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Mariam?
Well, going green is, I just started maybe about 6 years back only, when I started seeing that, we can do so much to help.
Sure.
To cut down so many things, and, maybe try to, share what we can do. And hence we started making a lot of green things, in the house, that the normal things that we used to do. We cut down a lot of expenses.
Okay, I think that's a good point, because a lot of people out there, I'm sure a lot of you ladies and men watching this as well, they probably think going green sounds like such a big endeavor. It's like, yeah, okay, we want to save the environment, and yes, we know that there's this thing out there about going green, but where do we start? Where do we go? How do we do it? And what would you say to them?
I think you need to be practical. And I mean, there's the World Wide Web, which is where my main reference from. And being green shouldn't be something that you look on as, I'll get there when the time comes.
Sure.
I mean, at least that's my perspective of it. Whatever you can do. Like a lot of people focus on tree planting, for instance.
Yeah.
And to be realistic, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Of course.
And it's not too accessible. I mean, sometimes you want to do something different for the weekend. You can do one tree planting once a year. But there are so many other things out there. The way you drive, the way you dress,
right.
the way you purchase, the way you eat, all that is or relates to the environment.
Yeah, because people want to see results, and they say, okay, we'll plant a tree, but how long do we get to see before it really grows, and when we'll find this tree again, that kind of stuff, right?
That is a one-time affair, that I show green today and I stay green today only. But
sure.
It should go on.
It should be an everyday daily thing. And I'm sure in the minds of a lot of people out there right now, they're probably going, yeah, but why should we do it? I mean, we're just one person. How are we going to change the air around us if it's just me? What would you have to say to that?
I think that's a very old school of thought. I mean, we developing so fast and moving so fast, consuming too much, that if we start just thinking about ourselves and what we do to change the environment, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we need to change our mindset, first of all, that it's collective effort towards making one change. Obviously, if I plant 1 million trees today and you plant 1 million trees, at the end of the day, if we are not around, who else is going to plant 1 million trees?
That's true.
So I think it's a shared responsibility, and after all, it is a shared environment.
Yeah. I mean, was there a particular time? I mean, since you are, EcoKnights and you know so much about the green movement and all that, when was it a particular time when people decided, was it back in the 50s, 60s, or way back when people decided that we should take care of an environment? And till today, have there been statistics that have shown that there has been an improvement in our ecosystem?
I don't know if there's been marked improvement in our ecosystem, but going back historically, I think we had, amazing people like Rachel Carson or Theo Colburn, who in the 60s has already noticed that something is not right with the environment. And I mean, they were coming from a chemical perspective, because in the 60s, we were booming in industries, we were booming in agriculture, and we produced a lot more chemicals those days. And it was starting to have a repercussion on the environment, specifically wildlife, back in the 60s. And that caused a stir of panic in a way, because it's like if we can find this pesticide in this bird and even in the babies, in the eggs, then what about us? Because we're exposed to it as well. And then gradually knowledge increased and science pulled back and brought back some concrete information.
Sure.
And I think in general, all this information are out there. Whether it's digestible for us to understand or not, that's still debatable. But I'm sure there's many very layman-ish, very public information out there. Which
correct, and that brings me to my next point. Speaking about layman and how we deal with our green issues, let's take a look at what we posed this question to the public, whether they knew when today World Environment Day was, and let's take a look at this.
I'm not sure.
No.
No, I don't know.
No, I don't.
Not really.
Yes, I do. It's 5th of June.
So that is why we are here, because we are going to raise the awareness of the fact that we should be taking care of our environment, right? So now I understand, Mariam, that you brought a couple of stuff that we can do every day. It's so simple to save the environment. Now, what do we have here? This is so interesting looking. I'm intrigued. Tell me.
This is an enzyme made out of fruit peel.
Okay.
You can use any fruit. So, when we consume fruits, we do not throw the skin.
Okay.
We just keep the skin and you make this. This is actually a multi-purpose cleaner.
Oh.
Multi-purpose cleaner.
Are you
can
serious?
Clean yes.
Okay.
So, you have to ferment
So
it
what?
for 3 months.
Ah,
Then
okay.
you
So
can
you
use
keep
it.
all your
peel.
fruit peel, whether it's orange or apple, whatever it is it?
Where I stay, we started off with making it and started distributing it among our neighbors. So those who are not interested in making, what they do is they keep the peel for us.
Ah.
So I gather more peels and I make more.
And where do you store these peels? Don't they become smelly?
In the fridge, in the freezer.
Okay.
In the freezer.
So you ferment it in the freezer for 3 months?
We keep it in the freezer just to get the quantity that we want.
Okay.
And then you have, it's only 3 items that you use. You need fruit peel, you need water, and you need brown sugar. That's all it costs. And fruit peel comes easy because you consume fruits and you are going to throw the peel away, you see.
Okay.
So we just ferment it for 3 months. And then after that, not only this that you get, whatever residue you get is manure to the plants.
Wow, okay, yes, my producers smell it. I'm definitely going to smell it. Does it smell funky?
It smells funky. But
Okay.
it doesn't smell funky after you've used it.
Ooh, it smells very
but this is
super
concentrated,
sour.
you see.
It smells like apple cider vinegar or something like that. See, it's
It's
not that
citrus.
bad after all. So you use this to clean the house?
Yes.
Like-
This is concentrated. Every amount you use, you got to dilute it 10 times.
Okay. So you just add extra water. So you save money on detergent, and you buy less.
Yeah.
You buy less. Of course, you're
Plastic
expensive.
containers
right?
as
Plastic
well.
containers. And this obviously costs absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, right?
I buy mine from
think-
her.
Okay, so you
The
started
only
a little.
money you spend is on sugar.
The brown sugar,
The brown
right?
sugar.
Okay.
And then you can use it for cleaning your floor, your toilets, even your clothes, your stains.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people's faces out there going, really? For real now. But seriously, you would put this with your washing?
Yes.
And it doesn't stain your clothes
No.
because it's brown and it
It removes your stain.
Ah,
It
okay,
removes
okay.
your stain.
I
And
shall
even you can
try.
use it for, sensitive skin. People shower with this. Dilute it and just shower with it.
Really?
And those who do
Multi-purpose,
not
huh?
use, who can't use soap, chemical base, they use this even for mosquito.
How did you learn this, ma'am?
Actually, reading.
Okay.
We read and then we try. We tried this. We try enzyme for drinking.
Okay. And what about this thing
These
here?
are
What-
soap nuts.
This looks pretty funky as well.
These are soap nuts. This is natural. It's from it's a tree.
Okay.
These are fruits from the tree.
Oh, and what do we do with this?
You can do your washing with it. If you want to wash a dishwash,
So
you just soak it.
Does it
soak
lather?
about-
Yeah,
yeah,
it
but
has
not
some-
that
Sure.
much of suds, but it removes a lot of dirt. You just soak 3 of this, and you can start washing your bowls and your plates. Or if you
It
want to
doesn't smell.
use
It
for
doesn't smell when
laundry,
you're done
Sorry,
washing.
what nuts did you say it was?
soap nuts.
How did you find this?
We bought it off someone who sells it at mostly at the green bazaars,
they
right?
import it from Pakistan, I think.
Okay, interesting. Very, very
You
interesting.
just put it in a old socks that you don't use anymore. You put it in the washing machine and you just keep on washing your clothes.
Wow.
About 7 of it, you can wash your clothes for 3 times, 3
Wow.
cycles.
That's fantastic. Now, we've got a little story on a company, but before that, are bigger corporate companies, are they jumping on the bandwagon? Are they helping out environmentally and doing their bit to save the environment?
I think there's a surge of more companies coming on board on this green bandwagon. Having said so, there's also quite a bit that are on it for certain marketing or branding purposes.
Sure.
But, I mean, I guess you can't have the best of both worlds.
course.
But it's good in a way because it has raised the profile of NGOs such as us. Because they would need to hook up with one NGO.
Yeah, because they'll probably be like clueless and say, okay, we need to do this, and how do we go about doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. It only starts with you. Am I right, Yasmin? We've got Yasmin here and Mariam from EcoKnights. And then we've also got lovely Mira Elia. How are you doing, Mira?
Fine, thank
Mira is Yasmin's daughter. And are you a little environmentalist as well?
Well, we do have recycling bins at home and compost.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, when we talked about, when you saw that the VT just now said choose to reuse, it probably crosses a lot of people's minds is that, okay, this is just a one-off thing, to follow up and to make sure and to have the discipline to do that every day is not easy. How do you think we could actually, have that really embedded in our heads and our system?
I don't know if it's difficult to start changing mindsets of people about our age, because it's not a lifestyle, it's not natural, and I'm hoping when it comes to her, it becomes second nature. That's why at home, I mean, we kind of really enforce it to a large extent.
Okay.
We don't have fancy bins that you see outdoor in shopping malls, the orange ones and the blue ones. We make our own bins from old cardboard boxes, and she loves decorating it. And I think the key here is, I noticed someone said earlier on TV that, you need to be the change.
You need to take ownership, right?
Yeah, so we can do so much this generation. My hope is for the next generation to do better than me or what we have done so far.
Yep.
And hopefully along the way, in the next 10, 15 years, then you see an uprising of a new sort of mentality. And that you could relate to today's theme, which is the green economy. Because
Sure.
when people talk about green economy, they talk about purchasing green products or buying a hybrid car or buying a light bulb. Realistically, not everyone has the money to buy to be green.
Yeah, because it can be quite costly.
It is
right?
costly because we're not demanding enough of it yet. So I mean, it's
Sure.
basic economics in play here. So to be a green economy is for us to look at basic things that we can control, which is food consumption, what we shop, what kind of clothes we buy, how is our style of wearing clothes. Are we those who don't want to be seen wearing something twice? You know,
Sure.
that kind of culture, which we got to start shifting. I mean, we can maintain some style and classiness to it, but I think we need to look at how we can just shift it towards being more sustainable.
Yeah. So Mira, you obviously have followed in your mommy's footsteps, but what have you done or your school friends have done to make sure that we have a better environment to live in?
My school, every Friday, at the end of the month, we have like recycling.
Okay.
So like papers, newspapers and all. And every class has to recycle.
Okay.
So the recycling adds up to points.
Ah, and then what do you get with these points?
Well,
Do you get better grading in your work?
each class gets points.
Okay.
So then sometimes if the school allows it, then we have like every class for tahap 1 and tahap 2, we get trophy for the highest
Oh,
class.
fantastic. Okay, so that's your prize at the end of your point system. Oh, that's great. I mean, I think it's a very good way to encourage, school-going children and all that. What about at home? What do you do at home to make sure you take care of Mother Earth? Besides, the recycling and stuff, do you help make stuff like these too?
I don't really know how to make that.
Energy.
And what else do you do at home? What else can the kids do?
Don't
To make
take
it
too
more
much
fun for
food,
them.
and if you can't finish it, I always tell them eat enough and make sure you finish your food and don't like throw it away, throw half a plate of rice away. So I think food consumption is my biggest issue with them,
Okay.
and toys as well. My second daughter inherited most of her toys and clothes, and for her art school, instead of going to the shop to buy art supplies, we try our best to find what we can reuse at home.
Okay.
For her art class.
Right,
So
right.
these are just some of the minor things. When she was younger, she used to just bring back all of the bottles of drinks and rinse it and just drops it in our recycling bin at home.
Okay, well, I suppose it's really, really good to start young and to have that embedded in our kids' heads, right?
Yeah, and I have to say her generation, they're quite aware. Because I've been to a school for career day talk, and all our friends are very in tune with environmental issues. Now it's us mommies and daddies to, lead the right way.
Yay! Okay, one more last question for Miriam. Miriam, you seem to be such an expert on all this DIY stuff. What else have you made at home? I'm so curious and intrigued.
More on recycling, my garbage, the disposal is only kitchen waste, maybe, whatever we use in the kitchen. Other than that, the plastic, the bottles and the cans are all being recycled.
Okay.
We have recycling bags, which maybe every fortnight the recycling people will come and
Collect them.
we separate it, so much so that they can just take and weigh and say, okay, this is only plastic, this is bottles,
Sure.
this is, try to encourage the people in the community where we stay, try to get them to do this, because I think one bottle of this dishwash is now about 4 or 5 ringgit. If you use one bottle of this, you can use for months.
So you save a lot of money out there, Well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming on the show. Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you.
If anyone out there who is really interested and they want to get to know more about EcoKnights, where can they go to?
They can go to our website, EcoKnights.org.my. We have some amazing tips up there, and we also have opportunities for people who want to know or want to check out what green volunteering is all about.
Okay.
So they can log on and see what sort of activities we have planned, and they can be on board.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mira, for coming on the show. Thank you, Mariam.